a 1963 Buick Skylark, a 1965 Ford Thunderbird, a 1966 Chevy Corvair, a 1975 Ford Maverick, and a 1985 Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Let's go to the yard.
Okay, so I headed out to the Santa Fe Springs yard because they just got some new stuff in, including this 65 Thunderbird. And we've had Thunderbirds on this video series before. This one doesn't look too bad, other than it was wrecked in the back, which you'll see the quarter panel's completely shot. It just arrived yesterday. Already removed all the the fake grill and the Thunderbird emblems. All that stuff's already gone. So I already snagged the 4-barrel off of it. It's got an FE. Looks like it might have been running. Actually, if you look at the fuel pump, it doesn't look like too old. So I'm guessing this might have been a running, driving car that was hit while it was operational. Says this was actually 65 was the first year for disc brakes, if I remember correctly, because I had a 64 that had drum brakes, which unfortunately I wish I still had, because this would have been an awesome donor for that, since probably pretty much all the stuff that car needed is probably on this car. So too bad I got rid of that one. But yeah, checking out this one. It's like a base model, so this one has the roof like this, which is actually the base model. Then they had the Landau, which had the Landau bars, which the base model, in my opinion, actually looks better than the Landau edition. And of course, you could get the convertible as well. Coming around checking this out. Yeah, most of the interior is already gone too. The dash, someone has removed the instrument cluster and all the stuff off the center console, except for the lid there. And then these actually had a wraparound back seat, and that's completely gone as well. But looks like this one was actually a roll-up window car, which most of these had power windows. So this is very much a base car, but someone's grabbed the crank off of this side. So here's the damage. Looks like it was hit pretty hard. Looks like it was hit back here and it caved it in, which is too bad. And these had the sequential taillights, which I believe there's a unit. Oh, this one had a CD changer in it. So someone had this thing all hooked up with a newer sound system. There's actually a unit, I can't remember where it goes on these. I had a 67 and I had a hell of a time getting it to work, but there's a system that makes it do sequentials. I think 65 was the first year for that, because 64 did not have that. I could be wrong, maybe 66 was the first year of the sequentials, but it's something that these T-Birds are definitely known for. Coming around, I mean, this side of the car was actually decent. Looks like it'd probably been painted years ago. A little bit of, no, it's just dirty, not rust. So someone grabbed all the trim around the window, all the Thunderbird badges and things like that. But really sad to see these winding up out here, but hopefully someone got a lot of the parts. And these actually had the swing away steering wheel. If you've ever seen it, it's pretty cool. The steering wheel actually swings to the right for ease of getting in and out of the car. So these were a deluxe item. They actually sold a lot of these, which is why so many of them are still around. There's that disc brake. This is the first year for disc brakes on the Thunderbird. And even that starter solenoid looks brand new. So man, this thing was definitely somebody's project. Maybe somebody was driving it around, and unfortunately it got hit and wound up out here at the junkyard. Okay, so I honestly think like the most common 60s car we get here on What the F Is That Doing in the Junkyard is a Chevy Corvair. It's probably because they sold a lot of them. There's a lot of them still around, and honestly the values of these have not increased as much as, say, like the Impalas, the Malibus, and all the other Chevrolets. The standard front engine V8 rear wheel drive Chevrolets of that era definitely have increased in value at a greater consistency than the Corvairs. So I think the hood's already come off of this one. Even had some cement in there. Looks like someone was using this thing for work. But this one appeared yesterday out here, and it looks like if it wasn't stripped already, then it was stripped last day or so, since it's been out here. I don't know how to get in the back of these things. I don't know if there's like a hood latch or. Said I've never owned a. Oh, here it is. Okay, now I know how to get in the back of a Corvair. The engine and all that, the whole transaxle. Well, the transaxle is still there, but the engine is completely gone. Looks like it's been out for a while, so I'm guessing this was a car that was parted and later sent to the wrecking yard. But still, you know, when you ever see, well, I guess I've been seeing a lot of these Corvairs out here at these self-service yards, but still, it's definitely, hey, what the F, because back east this car would have been saved, as there's really hardly no rust on this car, but it does have a bullet hole or something in the windshield. Like I said, not a high dollar car, but it's like it was somebody's parts car, and then that's pretty much probably how it wound up out here. All right, here's another one that arrived out here yesterday. This is a 1963 Buick Skylark. Again, not something that would have been saved necessarily, but definitely something interesting to see at the wrecking yard. This one's got the small V8 in it. It's like a baby nail head. I can't remember what these were. I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments. And so it's got like a funky like power brake apparatus there, but it's like something that maybe got tagged in the front there and maybe sat in somebody's yard for many years. Fenders are good on it, so if someone was restoring one of these, in fact, this guy says he has one at home. The guy who's working on pulling this one apart, and someone's already grabbed all the dash stuff, so, and the interior, but it's like old paint. I'm thinking this was repainted at some time, so it's not original paint, but it's very old paint. And the body really isn't that bad. Like down in the corners of the fenders there, even on the rocker, still has all the rocker trim on it. I don't know, man. Like I said, not necessarily something that would have gotten saved, but something that's sad to see out here nonetheless, because I mean, these 60s cars aren't getting any easier to find these days. And this one really wasn't that bad. Looks like someone already grabbed the door as well. This guy's another car, looks like he might be pulling the transmission out of this one. This was an automatic car, which most of them were that were Buicks, because it's more upscale, like, you know, slotted right under Oldsmobile in the GM lineup. Again, just something kind of interesting to see here at the self-service yard. Okay, here's one for the fans of Mike on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. This is a 1985 Chrysler Fifth Avenue. Once again, this is not something that's necessarily desirable too much, but as the Malaise cars gain in popularity, this one looks like it was a pretty good example of one of these. Like, the paint is like super shiny on this thing. It's got like a 318 in it with a 2-barrel carburetor. Checking this thing out, it actually only has 90,000 miles. Let me show you the odometer. Check that out, 90,000 miles. Has the plush pillow top seats, and the driver's side was ripped up because, you know, you can imagine these weren't like the best material, but dash was good, a little bit, well, it's bulged up here a little bit, but man, I do know these cars can be difficult to smog, to get past California smog. And I've known people have had these who've had problems getting these to smog, unfortunately. Still has the vinyl top on it. The vinyl top's actually in really good condition. There's a little sail piece right there. Someone broke in the trunk here. Had to use a crowbar to get in the trunk. And it still doesn't open. So, oh look, the latch is still latched. So whatever's in there, it's probably going to be in there when it goes to the wrecker. Looks like the hubcaps are on the ground. But yeah, I'm guessing when this wound up in here before the forklift started moving it around, it wasn't that bad a car. Someone's actually got the door panels out of it, and somebody really tried to get in that trunk. See, they even tried yanking on the back seat there to see what was in there. I'm guessing it was probably one of the yard workers. But you know, I mean, is it valuable? No. Is it something that, in the condition where before it wound up out here, someone would have probably got it and fixed it and tried to love it? Maybe. Definitely something interesting though here at the yard. All right, here's another pre-smog Ford. This is a 1975 Ford Maverick. It's a 4-door, but it's like someone already got to this, started yanking apart the front end, cut the support out to get the engine out. And judging by that valve cover there, I would say it had a 206 in it. Man, kind of interesting to see a pre-smog car like this. This has a vinyl top on it. That's a crispy bastard. Looks like the dash had been repainted. Someone already yanked all the instrument cluster and everything out of it. Some of the door handles were missing. Someone's yanked the rear seat out of it. You know, probably the one good taillight, because this one, the taillight there is cracked. Same taillights as a Pinto, by the way. If you ever find a Pinto and you have a Maverick and you need taillights, or vice versa, it's the same taillights. But man, it looked pretty straight. It may have been a cool, like, budget hot rod for somebody. I mean, if they had got a hold of this thing before the Junkyard got it, because other than that, the body didn't look too bad. It looks like the fender's a little bit buckled in, but I mean, I think someone would have picked this up if it was like a few $100s and put it back on the road, you know. But not something you would restore, spend a ton of money on, but something that would have been like a fun project for like somebody that was on a budget and wanted a cool little pre-smog hot rod.
And those are your cars for volume 19 of WTF Is That Doing in the Junkyard. I've actually got more Junkyard video footage shot that's going to be coming in upcoming videos, including one of a 1970 Dodge Charger, if you can believe it. It popped up at a local self-service yard. So that's going to be in a video. So if you'd like to see that sort of thing, or you like these type of videos, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment as to what your favorite car in this video was. If you haven't watched my other videos, there's actually a playlist of all these volumes, and we're going to be continuing to add to that as time goes on. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.